Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3 or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464838. WhatsApp us on 3259220. Or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties.
Thank you very much. My name is Nganjeng. I'm the Municipal Disaster Coordinator for Kanifi Municipality. As you all know, that yesterday night's windstorm is something that hits the entire country. This is not only Kanifi Municipality, but then it's across the country. So as we are speaking, I'm not only speaking on behalf of the municipality, but then I'm speaking on behalf of my other colleague regional coordinators who are also presently on the ground, just like what I am doing, conducting assessment to damages or to compounds or households that are already affected. Right now, this is a rapid assessment that the agency is presently doing. And then from the rapid assessment, we will come again to conduct a detailed assessment. But then as we are speaking, several houses have been destroyed, and I even learned that lives are lost and injuries are also sustained in some of the regions. And some of them are already hospitalized in one of the hospitals in other regions. But then as we are speaking, I can tell you that the NDMA management at the central level have just called on an emergency press briefing at 3 p.m., which is going to take place at the central office for more details so that way forwards can be discussed at the central level. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Jang. Could you tell us just a brief overview of the situation here in KMC region? I understand you're rapid assessing Kalinding right now, but besides Kalinding, what are other areas that have been identified that have been affected by this windstorm last night?
We have received so many calls because even prior to coming to Kalinding, we went to Bakau Kachikali, where also an entire compound's roof was blown away. And also there were fallen trees along the highway obstructing the traffic. So from Bakau also we received a call from Fajikunda and Abuko at the veterinary staff headquarters, which has also been destroyed, and also London Corner. So the assessment now against Saturday we expect to complete it. That is why right now I cannot give you the total number of households affected within the municipality, but we can tell you that this is quite a huge number for now.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Ito dima Ntomo lamin drame lete ka fanya pa drame talon korda tiyo nyentino.
Okay, ntol bota National Disaster Management Agency le KMC fana be janne mbe Ward Councilor kontona menketa Karamoti Honorable Karamo telefelo lorinte na Disaster Coordinator be jangani jeng Karamo do ku nyo do be jang membota KMC Dudu Diallo ni entire KMC mumeo because if tolle be NDMA support kan pour ka assessment ken wala pour ka dulal jibe tinyaro keta damel to sani ni media fana be silo kan jang media li houses oli siata nga dol to fas ken non nte dol to fala osina ke kasiti so lafte nyinin kala nyin aketa wati jumale ani ay mun mantorole le kan
nyin suto la keta by that time be sirin janne was for around 12 ma fangolamo kata wan kan fonyo starta mbe lorin janne na baranda to mandum na janne wilta bira wilta rek a lebul nde atambita tata jolon jana so nyin don tita wota da jolon jana kono to bagaso min bije be sinanta because ndam manam nyin sai no nyin don commande ka bonan sifo pour kanam mako ndo malam so ndam man bi na musol la manin dingol so na bagasol min bije man don fama jange ke boto kono le no so be sinanta mano min fombe kono tol fanam be sinanta so barbirim fano keda alhamdulillah rabbil alamin bala tentola because man satalla atela ala kuwalke so jonta tambino la wala bar karamo mba tentola mba jayla because biren kuwo keda nga correct immediately la futatam male amanna dindi ya jiba amanna fen jiba nata futatam ma ayna jan sofe fa pareta akonya ko be gal kumandila nanne yena ifane ya jibe mba anim barala wala tol min fanan do ko lan bar fanan nim barala mba falale ko albe do ko min ala ma do ko yurwala ala ma do ko soni ala bulu moy hamina ko mo fende ala mari ala ma kelal be birin jam fo KMC fo dawoda man sakunda dawoda be du ala mo be
Councilor Karamo is a councilor for Talending Southward. Just since yesterday night, we received so many calls from different people within my ward here that they have issues. Some of them, they lose their roof. They don't have any place to sleep and so on. Since yesterday night around 12, we were in the field with the members of my VDC, and then we contacted the Lord Mayor, the National Disaster Management Agency, KMC, and then thank God they all respond. Since in the morning we are on an assessment, we assessed around 10 compounds currently that are badly affected. And then this Dramakunda too, they are also part of the compound too that are badly affected. And then we are urging all parastatals in the Gambia here or institutions that can come to the aid of this family to support them so that they can have a shelter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Since this problem occurs, we were sent by the Lord Mayor as the department hosts the municipal disaster coordinator. So we work as a team to go into the field to do assessment. We started it from Bakau. We see some of the rooftops were removed by windstorm, and some trees that were fallen partly and obstructed the road, the access road to people moving about around Bakau Kachikali. Then from there we move up to Talending. Since we came here, we visited many homes and we're seeing the same similar problem. Anyway, this is something that KMC want to share with the general public. We are looking forward to work with the all stakeholders so that they can come to the aid of these victims. So, and we have other areas also that are in Fajikunda and Abuko, and I hope we'll be continuing this assessment. And we hope we appealing also to the media, because your stand is very important in this, to disseminate this message to the general public so that, you know, at least we can get some support from anywhere so that we can jointly work it out together to support this family. I thank you all.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Governing Council and on my own behalf, to welcome you to this press briefing. As you know, like what Fofana said, following yesterday's windstorm, which was really serious because the windstorm was at a speed of estimated to be at 85 kilometers per hour. I think this is, in 5 years, this is the first time that Gambia is experiencing this kind of windstorm. And it has caused considerable damage to life and livelihood. As of now, we lost, there is 10 fatality. Any soul that's lost as a result of disaster is a big loss to the nation. And when that happened this morning, the head of state, being the President of the Republic of the Gambia, called for an emergency meeting. We are all aware that in any disaster, the government bears the primary duty bearer. So the welfare of the citizens of this country, the government is not taking it lightly. This was why the President called for an emergency meeting this morning so that we can brief him, so that the government can take its rightful position. The partners are here. They can come and complement and supplement government's effort. But at the end of the day, government is the primary duty bearer. As we are speaking, 3,140 people have already been affected. There is 10 fatalities and 1,531 internally displaced. This is very, 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 very serious. As the assessment is ongoing, because the assessment is not an event, it's a process. Before government can determine in the kind of response that the government would provide, they must have a credible and dependable data, because that's the nerve center of any response when it comes to emergency support. You rely on data, and the data has to be credible, reliable, and dependable. It is on this background that the government is actually waiting for us as an emergency institution and the partner to provide the government with the right data so that they can come up with a response that will need and will reflect the needs of the population. This is why we are here today. With us, we have the executive, we have the Secretary General Gambia Red Cross here with us. He is a very close and dependable partner. We also have Action Against Hunger, Abulabi, who is also, we are working very, very closely. In addition, we have Mr. Adam representing the World Food Program. We all know that World Food Program, Red Cross, and Action Against Hunger are dependable partners of National Disaster Management Agency. The agency and the government being the primary duty bearer, the stakeholders are here to supplement and complement government's effort. We are actually in the driving seat so that the other partners can come and supplement our effort. In a nutshell, this is why we are here today, so that we brief the press and know this is the government's position and give you an overview of what's happening. North Bank is hardly hit as we are speaking now, because we recorded about 9 deaths in North Bank and West Coast 1 death. So you can see when we also look at the underlying factor of why so much damage. We have always been advocating for tree planting, which would serve as a windbreak that will at least reduce the impact of disaster when it comes to windstorm. So in a nutshell, this is why we are here today, and then the government is waiting for the outcome of the report so that the government can take its rightful position. This was why the President himself called me this morning and summoned for an emergency meeting to determine what the government will be able to provide. To strengthen the response capacity of NDMA, the President has already donated 3 pickups to NDMA this morning, just to strengthen our capacity. Because we cannot collect all this data if we are not mobile, if we don't have the right mobility to do it. In addition to that, he also donated another six motorcycles, just to strengthen the response capacity of the institution. The governing council, the PS local government is also here. The reason why the PS is here, because all this disaster affects a community, and this community belongs to local government. This is why the PS is also here to witness the press conference. So I thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a very unfortunate incident. We're witnessing increased frequency in extreme weather events like yesterday's. And this is evidence that climate change is a real phenomenon, and it highlights the importance of government's ongoing efforts to mainstream climate change adaptation in our national disaster risk management. As a result of climate change, we're globally witnessing extreme weather events such as yesterday's, and such events are global, and it includes increased temperatures, increased storms, unpredictable rainfall patterns, and etc. Unfortunately, it's the poor and vulnerable that are affected the most. Climate change exacerbates our vulnerabilities. At a time like this, we're appealing to all stakeholders. As the executive director mentioned, it's primarily government's role, but times like this, we call on our stakeholders and partners, local and international. We have to work together to close the adaptation gap to adaptation funding gap and resilience. We have to mobilize efforts and resources to assist the most vulnerable. These partners, all stakeholders include government, international and local partners, and all Gambians, all patriotic Gambians. I mean, we should all come on board and help each other. I would want to say that I am personally going to pledge $10,000 towards the victims. I appeal to everybody to come on board and help. This is not the time to apportion responsibilities. This is a national responsibility for all of us. And government is doing all it can to try to exacerbate this, but we cannot do it alone. Please come on board and let's help each other as Gambians. Thank you very much.
Mr. Executive Director, WFP rep, against Action Against Hunger, my dear sister, PS, Minister of Local Government, staff of NDMA, colleagues from the Red Cross, the media houses. I would like to first and foremost to extend our sincere condolences to the families of the bereaved. The 10 people that have lost their lives during the stormy weather that struck the country during the past hours. As highlighted by the Executive Director, this is first and foremost the government's primary duty and responsibility to respond to the humanitarian needs of its population. As Red Cross, just as a reminder, we were created by an act of parliament as an auxiliary to the government in terms of complementing the government efforts both in humanitarian and development fields. And this is what we have been trying to do. Now, I'm really privileged to be here this afternoon to brief you on some of the actions that we have taken to complement the efforts of the government through the partnership with the NDMA. Now, I want to take us back to last week. I think many people sitting around the table here know that, yes, the events of last night was more disastrous, but I think the events started last Friday around 1800 hours when the first windstorm, heavy windstorm, went across from URR all the way to LRR and destroyed several houses, although lives were not lost at the time, but there were people who were wounded, taken to hospital. What we did from the outset, because we have, together with the NDMA before the rainy season, worked out a strategy to enable us to respond adequately. What we did as Red Cross was basically to review our standard operating procedures. In the past, our response time used to be 48 hours or at least 24 hours. Now, this time around, we said we're going to close that gap so that our response time would be in the first few hours of the disaster. So we have been responding since Saturday last week together with the NDMA and the other partners under their leadership in URR, CRR, and LRR. So we have teams that have been sent out. Now, as he rightly put it, the chair of the ceremony, we have been doing this business, and it's our core business. So one of the things that we have developed is, whilst we assess, we also respond with some life-saving material that would help the families. And this NDMA was very helpful in working with us in that. So we have been distributing as we went along some non-food items, which include blankets and mats and hygiene kits and other items, so that families who are hosted or housed by other community members would have adequate bedding to house them. Now, as he rightly said, data is being collected, and it's increasing by the hour. So this is not the normal windstorm that we used to have, and that's what I would like to reiterate here, that this is not the normal one. And secondly, even if we are going to respond, we need to take into consideration some of the critical things in terms of the disaster management continuum process, where we look at the immediate needs, the recovery phase, but also looking at ahead in terms of how our development practices can factor in strengthening the resilience of the community, so that even if we have bigger and stronger windstorms tomorrow or next year, or may God forbid, their houses would be able to withstand that disaster. So that brings me to the appeal that was made here, that we really need everyone to come together. It's not just about giving handouts to communities, but working with our communities to lift them from the disaster, but at the same time to strengthen their resilience, to build their resilience, both in terms of the shelter, but also as communities as well. So therefore, the support that we are looking for is both short-term, medium, and in the long term. And this is the time, as the executive director said, for us Gambians to come together. And we can do it. We have seen it happen during COVID, that Gambians came together and supported Gambians. And this is where it starts. Some of us, our institutions will be able to mobilize resources externally. And we can get partners like the UN system to support. But I think charity begins at home. We have to start locally to support our people. So the needs are huge. We therefore need people to come together and work together in alleviating the suffering of this. So I would like to once again say thank you, Mr. Dahaba, for your leadership, and thank the government of the Gambia. And there's no time, so we need to move. And for us, whilst we assess, we have to move and provide some life-saving support to the community. So I thank you very much.
The report that we received from last night to this morning was that most of these people died as a result of trees fall on their houses. The other ones, when the roof is being blown off, hit them, and then as a result of their wound, they died during the process. That's what we can confirm for now. Yes.
What about the other veterans? The single one?
Which one? Well, I just got the information. I'm yet to establish that. We sent a response team to go and investigate this under the circumstances. This one died, so they are yet to report back.
Exactly where did he die?
Well, I said this afternoon.
Where?
Busumbala. It happens at Busumbala.
Thank you very much. I wanted to ask a question with regards to the early warning system. You did say that this is not the ordinary type of windstorm that has happened. And I'm sure many Gambians have woken up to that reality. This is definitely not normal. But what about your earlier warning systems to inform Gambians when a disaster is about to strike? Are they all in order? Right. Next time such a situation would occur, would Gambians at least be able to be notified to get that heads up? It's coming. Brace up.
Well, just to begin with, when we received the JAS report actually indicates the weather forecast. It's called July, August, and September. Partners were called, and this JAS report was shared with the partners, and then a response plan was developed, and we developed the response plan at a time which coincided with this windstorm. So that's where we are now, and that we will actually strengthen and intensify our early warning effort, because the best early warning is to provide people with information. Sensitization, knowledge is the best tool for early warning, and we will make sure that we strengthen that aspect. We use the community radios. Last week I launched the network of journalists on disaster, and these were some of the tools that are readily available to be provided to the community so that we can strengthen their resilience. The situation, the first thing is that you brief the government, which is our primary responsibility, and give them the overview of the disaster situation in this country, which I did. And then the president, being the primary duty bearer, is the chief CEO of the country, which is the president. So that the president also called the Minister of Finance and through Disaster Governing Council, and clearly defined government's position that there is a disaster in the country and government is the duty bearer. And as a government, we need to work with partners so that we can strengthen the response capacity of the institution that's responsible for emergency response, and also strengthen the resilience of the communities. That's where we are, but this will be solely and wholly informed by the outcome of the rapid assessment and also the detailed assessment. That will determine the nature of response that government is going to provide. But government has already taken responsibility, and they are working towards addressing that. But again, information gathering is not an event. It's not one-off. It's a process. As the informations are collected, it comes to our data. This is why we are able to generate you with these figures as we are now. And this is increasing every minute. As they come, the information is processed, and this will be provided to government so that government can take a decision with the partners and respond to their need, humanitarian need. Yeah.
Members of the table, as well as the media houses who have taken their time to come and attend this press briefing. And we just hope and pray that this will be the last windstorm for this year. So I thank you all for your attendance.
Thank you.
In communication, connectivity is everything. We ensure that the links never sleep. Quantities and qualities, all in our data service, providing efficient, reliable voice and data service. We believe if you're not up to speed, then you're going backwards. Communications have to flow as fast as the speed of light. Whatever business you're in, having someone who understands your needs is critical. That is why we just don't offer you technology, we offer you solutions. Enjoy Gamcel's internet broadband anytime, anywhere. Your national operator, Gamcel, Yaibaram.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, Takaful Fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.